Lieutenant Kate Morgan stood tall among the crowd at Vega Station. Her military uniform made her stand out from the colorful clothing worn by the alien diplomats around her. She moved with purpose, watching for any threats to the human ambassador. The station lights reflected off the metal walls, creating an almost magical glow. Kate felt uneasy. She had been assigned to this mission suddenly with little explanation. The diplomatic summit between humans and the Sylvan collective was important. The Sylvans were tall beings with pointed ears and glowing skin. Humans called them elves because of their appearance. They lived much longer than humans. Some said they lived for hundreds of years. The grand hall was filled with voices in many languages. Kate focused on her job. She was security, nothing more. She had never met a Sylvan before. Today would be her first time seeing one up close. The human ambassador waved her closer. "I need you by my side. When the Sylvan delegation arrives," he said. Kate nodded and took her position. The large doors at the end of the hall opened. 5 Sylvans entered the room. They moved with grace that made them seem like they were floating. Their skin had a slight green tint. Their ears came to delicate points. Their eyes were larger than human eyes, with colors that seemed to shift in the light. They wore simple white clothing that flowed around them like water. The tallest Sylvan led the group. Kate assumed this was their ambassador. A small creature rested on her shoulder. It looked like a lizard with wings. Its scales were blue and it had bright amber eyes. Kate had heard that some Sylvans kept dragons as companions. This must be one of those creatures. Kate watched as the human and Sylvan ambassadors greeted each other. Her job was to observe and protect. She scanned the other Sylvans for any signs of weapons. They appeared peaceful. The meeting seemed to be going well. Then the Sylvan ambassador looked past the human diplomat. Her eyes locked with Kate's. The alien woman froze. Her face changed from diplomatic calm to shock. The small dragon on her shoulder hissed. Its scales changed color from blue to amber. Kate felt a chill run through her body. The Sylvan ambassador stepped forward, ignoring protocol. She moved directly toward Kate. The dragon spread its small wings. The human ambassador looked confused. Kate put her hand near her hidden weapon. "You haven't changed at all, human," the alien woman said, when she recognized Kate. Her voice was musical but filled with disbelief. "How is this possible?" "It's been 73 cycles." Kate did not move. Her training kept her calm despite her confusion. She had never met this woman before. She had never even seen a Sylvan before today. How could this alien recognize her? And what did she mean by cycles? "I think you are mistaken," Kate said. "I have never been to Vega Station before." The Sylvan woman came closer. Her eyes studied Kate's face. The small dragon leaned forward too, sniffing the air around. "Kate, no mistake," the Sylvan said. "Your face is exactly the same. Your eyes, your voice. Even the small scar on your left hand." She pointed to a thin white line on Kate's hand, a scar Kate had since childhood from an accident she barely remembered. The room grew quiet. Everyone was watching them. Kate felt exposed. The human ambassador stepped between them. "I apologize for the confusion," he said to the Sylvan. "This officer has been part of Earth forces her entire career. There must be a resemblance to someone you once knew." The Sylvan ambassador did not look convinced. She continued to stare at Kate. The dragon made a soft, trilling sound. "Perhaps," she said, "but I never forget a face, especially not one who saved my life." The human ambassador guided the Sylvan delegation away toward the meeting rooms. Kate remained where she was, her mind racing. How could this alien know her? The scar on her hand was not something a stranger would notice. Kate followed the group at a distance. She watched as they entered the main conference room. She took her position by the door. Her mind was not on her security duties now. She kept thinking about what the Sylvan had said. 73 cycles. How long was a cycle in their measurement? What did she mean by saying Kate had saved her life? Hours passed as the diplomats talked. Kate stood guard. Her legs grew tired, but she remained alert. She noticed the Sylvan ambassador glancing at her frequently. The small dragon watched her too, its eyes never leaving her. When the meeting ended, the diplomats filed out. Kate prepared to escort the human ambassador back to his quarters. The Sylvan ambassador approached her, the dragon still perched on her shoulder. "I must speak with you alone," the alien woman said. "My name is Lyra." "This is important." Kate looked to the human ambassador for guidance. He frowned. "That would be against protocol," he said. "Lieutenant Morgan is on duty." "I understand," said Lyra. "But this concerns matters from before your people officially met mine. It is of great importance." The human ambassador looked uncomfortable. "We have no record of previous contact with Sylvans," he said. "First contact was only 30 years ago." Lyra smiled a knowing smile. "That is what your records say," she replied. "But records can be changed. Memories can be altered." She looked directly at Kate. "Some things cannot be forgotten, though." The dragon made a soft noise, almost like agreement. Kate felt drawn to this strange woman. Something about her voice seemed familiar, though. Kate was certain they had never met the dragon, too. Something about the creature pulled at her mind like a half-remembered dream. "The ambassador will need an escort back to his quarters," Kate said formally. "I can meet you after my shift ends." The human ambassador started to object, but Kate gave him a look. He hesitated, then nodded. "Very well, Lieutenant," he said. "But report everything afterwards." Kate escorted the ambassador to his quarters. Her mind was filled with questions. When she was relieved by another security officer, she made her way to the meeting point Lyra had specified, a small garden area in the diplomatic section of the station. Lyra was waiting. The garden was empty, except for them. The dragon flew from her shoulder and circled the area as if checking for others. "Thank you for coming," Lyra said. "You truly do not remember me, do you? I have never met a Sylvan before today." Kate said I would remember. Lyra shook her head. The dragon landed on a nearby plant. It watched Kate with intelligent eyes. "What if your memories were taken from you?" Lyra asked. "What if someone changed what you remember?" "That is not possible," Kate said. Lyra stepped closer. "Is it not?" she asked. "Your people have developed many technologies in secret Sylvans. Live long lives. I remember things from before your people admit to meeting." Mine. Kate felt uncomfortable. She did not like where this conversation was going. "What do you think you remember about me?" she asked. "I remember you saving my life during the Arcadian crisis." Lyra said, "You were different then. You knew who you were. You knew what you were." The Arcadian crisis. Kate said, "I have never heard of it. Of course not." Lyra replied, "It happened 73 cycles ago, long before humans claimed to have developed space travel. But you were there. You helped evacuate Sylvan refugees. You protected us from those who would experiment on us. You helped me escape with the last clutch of dragon eggs." Kate shook her head. This was impossible. She had been born on Earth. She had grown up there. She had joined the military 20 years ago. She had records, a family, a history. The dragon suddenly flew from its perch. It landed on Kate's shoulder before she could react. Instead of fear, Kate felt a strange comfort. The small creature nuzzled against her neck. Its scales warm against her skin. "Ember remembers you too," Lyra said. "Dragons never forget those they bond with. He was just a hatchling when you saved us," as the dragon touched her. Kate felt a strange sensation. A flash of images filled her mind, a burning forest, strange ships in the sky, a younger Lyra wounded, a tiny dragon clutched in her own arms as she ran. These could not be her memories. "I don't remember any of this," Kate whispered. But even as she denied it, the images continued. A battlefield, strange weapons, blood on her hands. Lyra looking up at her with gratitude. "Of course you don't." Lyra said, "They took your memories, changed your identity, but they couldn't erase everything. The bond you formed with Ember that day is beyond physical. It's metaphysical." The dragon. Ember made a soft sound. It seemed to respond to its name. Kate felt dizzy. The room seemed to spin around her. She reached out to steady herself. Her hand found Lyra's arm. Why would anyone do that? Kate asked. Why would anyone take my memories because you chose us over them? Lyra said, You were sent to study us, to learn our secrets, but you discovered what they really wanted. You couldn't let them use you as a weapon against us. Kate sat down on a nearby bench. The dragon remained on her shoulder. It seemed to belong there somehow. None of this makes sense, Kate said. I am human. I age like a human. I have a human life, do you? Lyra asked. How old are you? Kate. 35. Kate answered, automatically. And how old were you when you joined the military? 15, Kate said. 20 years. Lyra nodded. And in those 20 years, have you aged as others have? Have you noticed that you look younger than colleagues who joined when you did? Kate thought about it. Dana. Her friend from training was now graying at the temples. Other classmates had lines on their faces from age and stress. Kate was often told she looked young for her age. She had always attributed it to good genetics. The summit isn't about peace, Lyra said. Not really, it's about you. They want to know if the experiment worked. They want to know if you survived. What experiment? Kate asked, her voice barely a whisper. The one that made you like us. Lyra said, the one that gives you our lifespan, our healing. The one that lets you live for centuries, not quite human, not quite Sylvan. Something in between. Kate felt the world shifting around her. Who was she really? What was she? And most importantly, who had? Kate sat in her small room on Vega Station. She stared at her reflection in the mirror. Her face looked the same as it had for years, maybe too much the same. She touched her cheek. No new lines, no signs of age. Her personnel file said she was 35, but was that true? The small dragon Ember had refused to leave her. It now curled on her bed, watching her with intelligent eyes. Kate had tried to return it to Lyra, but the Sylvan woman had smiled and said, The dragon chooses its companion. Ember has chosen you. Again, Kate thought about what Lyra had told her. It seemed impossible that she was somehow part Sylvan, that she had been genetically modified, that her memories had been changed. But the images in her mind when Ember touched her, those felt real. They felt like memories. A chime sounded at her door. Kate stood up. The dragon immediately flew to her shoulder as if it belonged there. Enter, Kate called. The door slid open. Dana Lee. Her friend and fellow security officer stepped into the room. Dana stopped when she saw the dragon. So it's true, she said. You really did take in the Sylvan's pet. Ember is not a pet, Kate found herself saying. He is a guardian dragon. Guardians bond with those they choose to protect. Dana raised an eyebrow. Where did you learn that? Kate hesitated. She wasn't sure how to answer. The information had simply been there in her mind as if she had always known it. The Sylvan ambassador told me, Kate said finally. Dana looked skeptical. You need to be careful, Kate. She said the ambassador has requested you as her personal liaison for the remainder of the summit. The human delegation is concerned. They think the Sylvans might be trying to turn me. Kate frowned. How Dana shrugged. We don't know much about Sylvans, their abilities, their intentions. The timing is suspicious. We are negotiating territory in 3 star systems. They suddenly claim to know you from some time in the past. Kate felt Ember tense on her shoulder. The dragon seemed to dislike Dana, or perhaps what she was saying. What do you think? Kate asked. Dana sighed. I think you should be careful. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small device. I swept my room for bugs. Found 3 of these. You might want to check yours. Kate took the small disc. It was a listening device, standard Terran military issue. Kate felt a chill. Who would be spying on Dana? And if they were listening to Dana, they were probably listening to Kate too. I'll check. Kate said. Dana nodded. You should know the human. Ambassador wants to see you right away. She looked at the dragon again with the pet. Kate nodded. Thanks for telling me. After Dana left, Kate used a scanner to check her room. She found 5 listening devices. She left them in place. Better to let whoever was listening believe they were undetected. She wrote on a datapad, showing it to Ember, we need to talk to Lyra. Going to Ambassador's office first. The dragon seemed to understand. It made a soft, trilling noise. Kate stroked its scaled head. The contact sent more images through her mind. A vast forest, trees larger than any on Earth. Sylvans living in harmony with creatures like Ember dragons of all sizes. Some small like Ember. Others large enough to ride. Kate made her way to the human ambassadors. Office, Ember still on her shoulder. She received strange looks from other humans as she walked. The dragon was attracting attention. She entered the ambassador's office after being cleared by security. The ambassador sat behind a large desk. He frowned. When he saw Ember Lieutenant Morgan, he said, I see you have adopted the Sylvan ambassadors. Pet Kate did not correct him. She stood at attention. You wanted to see me, sir? Yes. The ambassador gestured to a chair. Sit, please. Kate sat. The dragon adjusted its position, staying on her shoulder. The ambassador leaned forward. Lieutenant, I am concerned about your interaction with the Sylvan ambassador. She has specifically requested you as her liaison. This is unusual. I understand, Sir. Kate said. What would you like me to do? The ambassador studied her for a moment. The Sylvan ambassador claims to know you from a time before official first contact. This is impossible, of course. Of course, Kate agreed, though she was no longer certain. Yet she seems convinced, the ambassador continued. She has shared some rather unusual theories with her delegation. Theories about humans and Sylvans having met before, about secret experiments. Our intelligence suggests she believes you are somehow proof of these experiments. Kate kept her face neutral. What do you want me to do, sir? The ambassador smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. Use this opportunity, Lieutenant. Find out what she knows, what she believes. Learn about their technology, their defenses. The dragons especially. They seem to be bioengineered guardians. Potentially weapons. So you want me to spy on her? Kate said. The ambassador frowned. Not spy. Gather intelligence. There is a difference. The security of Earth could depend on what you learn. Kate felt Ember shift on her shoulder. The dragon seemed agitated. I understand. Sir. Kate said, Good. The ambassador handed her a small device. Wear this at all times. It will record your conversations with the Sylvan ambassador. For your protection, of course. Kate took the device. Of course. Sir, you are dismissed, Lieutenant. The ambassador turned his attention to his computer screen. Kate left the office, her mind racing. The ambassador wanted her to spy on Lyra. But Lyra claimed Kate had once protected the Sylvans. Who was telling the truth? Who should she trust? She made her way to the Sylvan delegation quarters. Ember seemed more relaxed now, guiding her with small movements. She was admitted immediately to Lyra's private chambers. The Sylvan ambassador was waiting. Her chambers were different. From human quarters, plants grew everywhere. It was like a small forest. The air smelled sweet and clean. You came. Lyra said, I knew you would. She looked at Ember on Kate's shoulder. He has been showing you things. Yes, memories. Kate hesitated. Then she wrote on her datapad, showing it to Lyra, I am being recorded, device on my uniform. Lyra nodded without surprise. She took Kate's hand and led her to a small fountain in the center of the room. The sound of falling water was soothing. Lyra took the recording device from Kate's uniform and placed it near the fountain. The water noise would mask their conversation. They want me to spy on you. Kate whispered. Of course they do. Lyra replied. They want to know how much you remember. How much I know about what they did to you. The dragon flew from Kate's shoulder to a nearby plant. It watched them both. What did they do to me? Kate asked. Lyra sighed. 73 cycles ago. Your people discovered our world. Not officially, your leaders kept it secret. They were interested in our lifespan, how we lived for centuries. They captured some of us, experimented on us, trying to combine our genetics with humans. Kate felt sick. Is that what I am? An experiment? Lyra shook her head. You were a soldier then too, but you were sent to guard us. Study us, you saw what they were doing to my people. You helped us escape, you protected us. But before we could get away, they caught you. We thought you had died. Kate tried to process this. It seemed impossible. But the fragments of memory Ember had shown her. They felt real. If what you say is true, Kate said. Why do I look human? Why do I think I am human? They altered you. Lyra said. They continued their experiments on you. They found a way to combine Sylvan and human DNA. But they also suppressed your memories, gave you new ones. They wanted to see if the changes would last, how long you would live. They have been watching you. Kate thought about the listening devices in her room. The ambassador's interest in her. The recording device. She had always been watched. Why come forward now? Kate asked. Why tell me this? Because they are planning to do it again. Lyra said. The peace talks are a front. They want access to our world, our technology, our genetic material. The experiments never stopped. They just became more secret. Kate remembered what the ambassador had said about the dragons, about gathering intelligence. Ember flew back to her shoulder. The contact brought more images. A laboratory. Sylvans in cages. Humans in white. Coats, dragons, two smaller ones being studied. Kate saw herself younger, wearing a different uniform, standing guard. Then later helping the captives escape. What do you want from me? Kate asked. I want you to remember who you are. Lyra said. What you are. And I want your help to stop them from taking more of my people. The next day, Kate met with Dana in the station garden. They walked among the plants, speaking quietly. You seem different, Dana said. The dragon still on your shoulder. Kate had decided to trust Dana. They had been friends for years. If anyone would believe her, it would be Dana. I need to tell you something, Kate said. It's going to sound impossible. Dana listened as Kate explained what Lyra had told her. About the experiments, about Kate's true age. About the memories Ember had helped her recover. When she finished, Dana was quiet for a long time. It sounds crazy, Kate admitted. Dana nodded. It does. But she hesitated. I found something last night. She pulled out her datapad after you told me about the Sylvan ambassador recognizing you. I got curious. I accessed your personnel file. Kate frowned. That file is classified. Dana looked uncomfortable. I have skills they don't know about. I looked at your file. The original one. Not the one they show to everyone. What did you find? Kate asked. Inconsistencies, Dana said. Dates that don't match, previous assignments that don't exist. And this? She showed Kate the screen. It was a medical report. The language was technical, but Kate could understand enough. It described cellular regeneration beyond human normal genetic markers that were classified longevity estimates. This is about me, Kate whispered. Dana nodded. There's more. I found references to something called Lazarus Protocol. It seems to be a project aimed at extending human life using alien DNA. The report mentions test subjects. Successful integration in Subject 7 am I? Subject 7, Kate asked. Dana shrugged. Maybe the file doesn't say. Kate, Dana, and Lyra gathered in the small garden section of the station. It was early in the station cycle. Few people were about. Ember remained vigilant on Kate's shoulder. The dragon seemed larger somehow, as if he was growing with each passing day. We need a plan, Kate said. Her mind was still reeling from the memories she had seen in Lyra's crystal. But she was a soldier. She knew how to focus on the mission. Donna nodded. I can access the communication systems, she said. Try to intercept more messages about this extraction. Find out when they plan to move. Lyra touched a plant beside her. It seemed to respond, leaning toward her hand. My people can delay the negotiations, she said. Create diplomatic obstacles, but not for long. Eventually they will. Grow suspicious. Kate thought about what she had learned, what she had remembered. She was not fully human. She had lived far longer than she realized. Her memories had been altered, her identity changed. She had once helped the Sylvans escape human experiments. Now she needed to do it again. We need evidence, Kate said. Proof of what they've done, what they're planning. Something we can share with both sides. What kind of evidence? Dana asked. Kate looked at Ember. The dragon seemed to understand her thoughts. It made a soft trilling sound. The Lazarus Protocol. Kate said, "We need to find the files. The records of what they did to me, and others like me. Proof that they experimented on Sylvans before. Proof that this summit is just a cover." Dana frowned. Those files would be heavily encrypted. Protected only. The highest levels would have access. Kate nodded. But the ambassador would have access. He believes I'm spying for him. He trusts me. Lyra looked concerned. It's risky. The ambassador suspects you already. That is why they want to extract you. I have an idea, Kate said. She outlined her plan. It was dangerous, but it might work. The next day, Kate reported to the ambassador as ordered. Ember was still with her. The dragon had refused to leave her side. The ambassador frowned when he saw the creature still keeping the pet. I see, he said. Kate nodded. Sir Ember has been helpful in gaining the Sylvans' trust. The ambassador raised an eyebrow. Has he now? And what have you learned? Lieutenant Kate took a calculated risk. Sir, I believe Lyra is telling the truth about knowing me. The ambassador stiffened. Impossible. Kate kept her face neutral. She had rehearsed this carefully with Dana and Lyra. She needed to seem genuinely confused, concerned. Not accusatory. I know, sir, but she knows things about me. A scar I have had since childhood. She recognized it. She knows about my past. Some things even I had forgotten. The ambassador studied her. What exactly has she told you? Lieutenant Kate hesitated as if reluctant to share. The Sylvan ambassador believes humans and Sylvans met before the official first contact. She believes I was there, but that was over 70 years ago. The ambassador was very still, watching her closely. Go on. She thinks I was part of some experiment. Sir, I know it sounds impossible, but she showed me things, memories, and Ember. Ember seems to remember me too. The ambassador stood up and walked around his desk. He stood very close to Kate. Ember bristled scales, changing color. You seem troubled. Lieutenant, he said. I am, Sir. Kate admitted. I don't know what to believe, but I had strange dreams last night. Memories maybe of places I have never been, people I have never met, but they seemed so real. The ambassador put a hand on her shoulder. Kate forced herself not to pull away. Lieutenant, he said gently. These aliens, they have abilities we don't fully understand. Mental manipulation, memory implantation. They are trying to confuse you, turn you to use you against your own people. Kate looked down, as if ashamed. Sir, I would never, but it's all so vivid. The ambassador nodded. I understand you should have come to me sooner. This is precisely why we need to be careful in these negotiations. The Sylvans are not as peaceful as they appear. Kate looked up, making her eyes wide. What should I do, sir? Continue to gain their trust. The ambassador said, learn what you can. We may need to cut the summit short for security reasons. Kate nodded. But sir, if what Lyra is saying is true, if there was contact before, if there were experiments, the ambassador interrupted. There were no previous experiments, Lieutenant. No previous contact. The Sylvans are lying to you, Kate pressed on. But sir, what about the Lazarus Protocol? The ambassador froze. His eyes hardened. How? Do you know that name? Kate feigned confusion. I heard Lyra mention it. She said it was a human project to extend life using Sylvan DNA, that I was part of it. The ambassador was quiet for a long moment, his hand still on Kate's shoulder. But now it felt like a threat, not comfort. Lieutenant. He finally said, You have been compromised. The Sylvans have affected your mind. It happens sometimes with prolonged exposure. Especially with the dragons, they emit psychic fields. That dragon, he pointed to Ember, has been manipulating you. Kate looked at Ember. The dragon stared back at the ambassador. Its eyes unblinking. Sir, I don't think. The ambassador cut her off. I am removing you from duty, Lieutenant. For your own protection, you will report to medical immediately. They will help you. They will clear your mind of these alien influences. Kate stood straight. Sir, with respect, I am fine. I can continue my duties. The ambassador shook his head. This is not a request, Lieutenant. It is an order report. To Medical Bay 7, not the main medical facility. A special team is waiting. Kate felt cold. Bay 7 was in a restricted section of the station. Was this the extraction Dana had warned about? Yes, sir, she said. I will report there immediately. The ambassador nodded. Good, and, Lieutenant, leave the dragon here. Kate hesitated. Ember pressed closer to her neck. She could feel his warmth, his heartbeat. Sir, Ember won't leave me. The Sylvans explained that once a dragon bonds with someone, it stays with them. It's part of their biology. The ambassador frowned. Very well. Take it with you. The medical team will deal with it. Kate saluted and left the office, her heart pounding. As soon as she was in the corridor, she touched the communicator hidden in her ear. Dana, she whispered. He ordered. Meet a Bay 7 special medical team. I think this is it. The extraction Dana's voice came through faint. I know I intercepted the orders. They have a ship ready. A team from Earth. Special clearance Lazarus protocol mentioned explicitly. What about the evidence? Kate asked. Did you find anything? Some Dana said I managed to access some files. The ambassador's personal logs. He mentions the protocol, but nothing explicit. Nothing we could use as proof, Kate thought quickly. She was running out of time. She needed to get to Lyra, but Base 7 was in the opposite direction. If she didn't show up, the ambassador would know something was wrong. I'm heading to Base 7, Kate decided. Keep monitoring. Let Lyra know, understood. Dana replied. Be careful. Kate made her way through. The station corridors, Ember still on her shoulder. The dragon seemed tense alert. She reached the entrance to Bay 7. Two security officers she didn't recognize stood guard. They wore standard uniforms, but Kate noticed subtle differences. Their weapons were not standard issue, Lieutenant Morgan. One said, they are expecting you. Kate nodded and entered. The bay had been converted into a medical facility. Equipment she didn't recognize lined the walls. A team of 5 people in white coats waited in the center was an examination table with restraints. Kate felt sick. Lieutenant, a woman stepped forward. I am Dr. Chen. We are here to help you. Kate doubted that very much. Ember growled softly, his scales shifting to a deep red. The dragon will need to be contained, Dr. Chen said. She gestured and 2 assistants approached with what looked like a cage. Kate stepped back. No, Ember stays with me. Dr. Chen smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. The dragon is affecting your judgment, Lieutenant. It needs to be isolated while we treat you. Treat me for what Kate asked. There is nothing wrong with me. The doctor sighed. We know about your interaction with the Sylvan ambassador, the false memories she implanted, the confusion you are experiencing. We can fix that, make you whole again. Kate looked around the room. The exit was behind her, but the guards were there too. She was trapped. Unless my commander should be here, Kate said. Captain Harris should oversee any medical procedure. Dr. Chen shook her head. That won't be necessary, Lieutenant. This is a direct order from Earth Command. Now, please. She gestured to the table. Lie down. We will make this as comfortable as possible. Kate knew she had no choice. She had to play along. For now. She stepped toward the table. Ember tensed on her shoulder. The dragon needs to be contained first, Dr. Chen said firmly. Kate stroked Ember's scales. It will be okay, she whispered to the dragon. I promise. Ember made a sound of distress, but allowed the assistants to approach. With the cage, Kate watched as they took him, placing him in the container. The dragon looked at her through the bars. His eyes seemed to glow. Now Lieutenant Dr. Chen said, "Please lie down." Kate moved to the table. She lay back. The assistants immediately secured restraints around her wrists and ankles. Kate fought the urge to resist. "Not yet." Dr. Chen approached with a syringe. "This will help you. Relax." Kate turned her head. "What is it?" "Just a mild sedative," the doctor said. "We need to run some tests, scans. You will be awake." Kate doubted that too. The syringe came closer. Kate tensed, ready to make her move. Suddenly the lights flickered. The room plunged into darkness. Emergency lighting came on, casting everything in red glow. "What happened, doctor?" Chen demanded. "Station alert," said one of the assistants. "Checking now." A moment later, the station's alert system activated, warning security breach in diplomatic sector. "All personnel report to emergency stations." The guards at the door looked at each. Other one touched his communicator, listening. He turned to Dr. Chen. "Doctor, we have orders to secure the diplomatic sector. Possible." "Sylvan aggression." Dr. Chen frowned. "This procedure takes priority." A week had passed since the truth had been revealed. Kate sat in her quarters on Vega Station, looking out at the stars. Ember lay curled beside her. The dragon had continued to grow. He was now the size of a small horse. His scales shifted colors, with his mood currently a calm blue. The door chimed. Kate looked up. "Enter," she called. Dana stepped into the room. She smiled at the sight of Ember. The dragon acknowledged her with a soft trill. "The investigations are continuing," Dana said, sitting across. From Kate 3, more subjects of the Lazarus Protocol have been identified. All military. All with altered memories like yours. Kate nodded. "How are they taking it?" Dana shrugged. "One is in shock, refusing to believe it. The other two, they suspected something was wrong with their memories. They're aging. They are relieved in a way to know the truth." Kate understood that feeling. The relief of finally understanding why she was different, why she had always felt disconnected from her supposed past. The Terran. Authorities had granted her access to her true file, her real history. Not the fabricated one she had believed. "Have they decided what to do with us?" Kate asked. "The subjects?" Dana shook her head. "Not yet. The debate continues. Some want to study you. Others argue you should have full autonomy." "Rights." Kate stroked Ember's scales. The dragon responded by pressing closer. "I won't be a lab specimen again," she said. "Nor will the others." Dana nodded. "I know. The Sylvan delegation has offered sanctuary political asylum. For all Lazarus subjects, they argue that you are part Sylvan, that you should have the protection of their laws." Kate had been considering this offer. It was tempting. The Sylvans understood what she was, what she had been through. But was it right to abandon humanity, especially now? "What about the summit?" Kate asked. "Have the negotiations resumed?" Dana nodded. "Yesterday. The tone is different now, more honest. The Sylvan delegation is sharing information about their history, their technology, even about the dragons." Ember raised his head at the mention of his kind. His eyes seemed to glow slightly. Kate had learned more about the dragons in the past week than in all her false memories. The creatures were not pets, not even simple guardians. They were an ancient species, intelligent, empathic. They had once been partners to both humans and Sylvans. Before the two species had separated, before humans had forgotten their true history. "Lyra believes there were more dragons on Earth," once Dana said. "They died out or were killed during the separation, but their genetic memory remains. That is why Ember recognized you." From his ancestors' memories, Kate looked at the dragon. She had begun to sense his thoughts, his feelings, the bond between them growing stronger each day. She wondered how much he remembered, how much he knew about the shared past of their peoples. "Has there been any word about the ambassador?" Kate asked. Dana nodded. "He is in custody, facing charges of kidnapping, illegal experimentation, Conspiracy. He claims he was following orders. From higher authorities on Earth. Kate wasn't surprised. The Lazarus Protocol had been approved at the highest levels. The evidence recovered from the ambassador's ship had revealed decades of experiments. Hundreds of subjects, most had died. Some had been terminated when they began to remember. Others had been given new identities, new memories when the old ones began to fail. Only a handful had survived. Like Kate, what will happen now? Kate asked. Dana looked thoughtful. Everything changes, she said. The relationship between humans and Sylvans, the understanding of our shared history. The dragons. She glanced at Ember. Their role in all of this. Kate stood and walked to the window, Ember following her. The station orbited a gas giant, its rings glowing in the light of the system's sun. In the distance she could see ships, both human and Sylvan, moving in formation. Not in battle lines, but in cooperation. I had another memory flash last night. Kate said. Dana looked interested. What did you remember? Kate turned. The first contact. The real one. It wasn't hostile. Not at first. We met the Sylvans in peace. Traded with them. Learned from them. The dragons were the bridge between us. They could connect our minds, help us understand each other. What happened? Dana asked. Why did it change? Kate frowned. Some humans grew afraid of the connection, of what it meant to truly understand another species. Some wanted Sylvan technology, their longevity, their harmony with nature. But they wanted it on human terms, to take, not share. Ember made a soft sound, almost sad. Kate could feel his emotions, his understanding. The Sylvans refused. Kate continued. They offered partnership, not submission. Those in power on Earth decided that wasn't enough. They attacked. Tried to take by force what would not be given freely. Dana looked troubled, and the dragons. They tried to stop the conflict. Kate said. They connected the leaders of both sides, forced them to experience each other's pain, fear, hopes. But it wasn't enough. The humans who wanted control, they found a way to block the dragons' connection. They captured some, experimented on them. Ember growled softly, his scales flashing red briefly. Kate soothed him with a gentle touch. Dana looked at Ember with new understanding. Is that why he's so protective of you? He remembers what humans did. Kate shook her head. Not just that. He remembers what some humans did, and what other humans like me tried to do to stop it. The door chimed again. Kate called for entry. Lyra walked in. Her presence seemed to lighten the room. Plants in Kate's quarters responded, turning toward her. Ember made a happy sound, greeting her. I hope I am not interrupting. Lyra, said. Kate smiled. You never interrupt. Lyra looked at Dana, then back to Kate. I have news, she said. The Sylvan High Council has made a decision regarding the dragons. Kate felt a flutter of concern. They want to take Ember. Lyra shook her head. No, the bond is sacred. Even our council recognizes that. But they want to restore what was lost. The true partnership between our peoples. The dragons are key to this. Dana looked confused. I don't understand. Lyra smiled. There are eggs, she said, preserved from the last war. When we escaped, when Kate helped us, we took the last clutch seeds of hope, we called them. We have kept them safe all these cycles. Waiting, Kate felt her heart beat faster. Dragon eggs, Lyra nodded. Ember is not the last of his kind, only the first to return. The eggs need specific conditions to hatch both Sylvan and human energy, working together in harmony. They have been dormant, waiting for the right time. Is that time now? Kate asked. Lyra looked at Ember. The dragon met her gaze. There was communication between them. Kate could feel it. Through her bond, Ember believes. So Lyra said he senses change, a new beginning. The eggs respond to him. They stir in their long sleep. Dana looked amazed. What does this mean for us? For humans and Sylvans? Lyra turned to her. It means hope. A return to what was before the dragons can help us understand each other. Truly, they can bridge the gap between our minds, our hearts. That was their purpose, their gift. Kate thought about what this would mean. The implications. A true connection between species. Not just diplomatic agreements, but genuine understanding. She looked at Ember. The dragon seemed excited, his scales shifting through colors like a rainbow. The High Council invites you both, Lyra said, looking at Kate and Dana, to witness the awakening, to be part of this new beginning. Dana looked surprised. Me. Why me? Lyra smiled. Because you chose truth over loyalty. Because you helped Kate remember. Because the dragons approve of you. Kate felt honored by the invitation, but she also felt conflicted. The Terran authorities were still investigating the Lazarus Protocol. They wanted her to remain on the station for questioning. For observation, Lyra seemed to sense her hesitation. The Council has already spoken with your authorities. She said they have granted permission for a diplomatic visit. To our homeworld, Kate looked at Dana in surprise. Dana nodded. It's true, she said. They announced it this morning. A joint mission. Human and Sylvan representatives. To establish new protocols for cooperation. You and I have been named as part of the human delegation. Kate felt relief and something more hope. Perhaps this was the beginning of healing, between species and within herself. When do we leave? Kate asked. Lyra smiled. Tomorrow, the Sylvan vessel awaits. She looked at Ember, his size now filling much of the room. He will need larger quarters on the journey. Kate laughed for the first time in days. Yes, he will. Later that evening, Kate stood alone on the observation deck. She watched as ships moved in. The distant stars glittered against the blackness of space. Ember sat beside her. The dragon seemed contemplative. You knew, didn't you? Kate said softly. You recognized me from the beginning. Ember made a sound that Kate had come to understand as affirmation. She could feel his thoughts now. Not words exactly, but images, feelings, understanding. You remembered what I could not. Kate continued. Our connection from before. The dragon pressed against her leg, warmth radiating from his scales. Kate felt the bond between them. It was ancient, deeper than memory, stronger than the manipulations that had been done to her mind. What else do you remember? Kate asked. Ember shared images with her. Through their growing bond, she saw herself younger. Different, but the same, fighting to protect Sylvan refugees. The small dragon clutched in her arms as she ran from human soldiers. She felt her own determination, her knowledge that what was happening was wrong, her willingness to risk everything to stop it. Kate sat beside Ember, her hand on his neck. Is that why you chose me again? Because I helped you before. The dragon sent feelings of affirmation, but also something more, complex, nuanced. Kate understood. Ember had chosen her not just for what she had done, but for what she was, what she represented. The possibility of harmony between two peoples. I don't know if I can be what everyone needs, Kate admitted. I am neither fully human nor Sylvan. I exist. The Sylvan homeworld hung in space before them, a jewel of blue and green and purple. Kate stood on the observation deck of the ship watching as they approached. Ember beside her, now large enough that his head reached her shoulder. The dragon vibrated. With excitement, his scales shifting through colors like a living rainbow. It looks like Earth, Kate whispered. But different. Lyra stood nearby. Yes, she said. Our worlds are sisters, similar but distinct. The purple you see are the great forests where the oldest dragons once nested. Kate could see vast continents covered in violet vegetation, oceans of deep blue cities that seemed to grow from the land rather than being built upon it. They looked like massive living organisms. We are expected, Lyra said. The High Council awaits. The hatching ceremony has been prepared. Kate felt nervous. What if she did something wrong? What if she failed to understand the importance of what was happening? Dana joined them on the deck, her face full of wonder as she looked at the approaching world. It's beautiful, Dana said. I never imagined. No human has seen our world in generations. Lyra explained. Not since the separation. Not since the war. The ship descended through the atmosphere. Clouds parted, revealing more detail of the landscape. Kate gasped. The forests were enormous. Trees reached thousands of feet into the sky, their canopies creating a second landscape above the ground. Birds and flying creatures moved through the upper branches. Some looked like smaller versions of the space dragons they had seen. The cities were even more remarkable from closer view. Buildings grew from the ground like crystal formations or massive plants. They flowed into each other, connected by living bridges. Light pulsed through transparent walls. Sylvans moved among them. Some on foot, others riding creatures that resembled the smaller dragons. We call this harmony. Lyra said, our capital, though that word does not truly capture its nature. The city lives. It grows. It responds to our needs. The ship descended toward a vast clearing in the center of the city. A structure like a massive flower bloomed there, its petals open to the sky. Within the petals, Kate could see thousands of Sylvans gathered, a ceremony already beginning. We will join the High Council, Lyra said. They await us. The ship landed gently on a pad near the flowering structure. Kate felt her heart racing. Ember pressed against her leg. Reassuring. She stroked his scales, drawing strength from his presence. Dana touched her arm. Are you ready for this? Kate wasn't sure. How could anyone be ready to represent humanity at such a moment, to witness the rebirth of a species that could change everything? But she nodded. Yes, as ready as I can be. They disembarked from the ship. A delegation of Sylvans awaited them, tall, elegant beings with shifting eyes and graceful movements. They bowed to Lyra, then to Kate and Dana. Then, most surprisingly, they bowed to Ember. The dragon acknowledged them with a dip of his head. Welcome, to Harmony, said the tallest Sylvan, his voice melodic yet powerful. I am Eldrin of the High Council. We have waited many cycles for this day. Kate bowed respectfully. Thank you for allowing us to witness this historic moment. Eldrin studied her, his eyes seeming to see beyond her physical form. You are more than a witness, Lieutenant Morgan. You are a catalyst, the one who helped preserve our hope long ago, the one who returns now to see it fulfilled. Kate felt uncomfortable with such importance being placed on her. She had only fragmented memories of her actions 73 cycles ago, but Ember sent her reassurance, images of her younger self fighting to protect the Sylvans, the dragon eggs, their escape, her sacrifice. Eldrin turned his attention to Ember. The dragon met his gaze without flinching. There was communication between them. Kate could feel it through her bond with Ember. He has grown strong, Eldrin said. The bond between you is powerful. Rare even in the ancient days. He will continue to grow now that he has returned home. How large will he become? Dana asked. Eldrin smiled. Some legends say the greatest dragons grew large enough to wrap around mountains, that their wings could cover cities. When they flew between worlds, they looked like comets in the sky. He looked at Ember with respect. This one has that potential. The first of the new guardians. Kate tried to imagine Ember so large, so majestic. The dragon sent her an image of himself fully grown. Kate riding on his back between stars. It made her dizzy to consider. Please, Eldrin gestured. Come. The ceremony begins. They followed him toward the flowering structure. As they walked through the city, Kate noticed Sylvan stopping to watch them. Many bowed to Ember. Some looked at Kate with curiosity, others with what seemed like recognition, as if they knew who she was, what she was. The flowering structure was even more impressive up close. Its petals rose hundreds of feet into the air, translucent, allowing light to filter through in rainbow patterns. The central area was a vast amphitheater. Thousands of Sylvans sat in concentric circles around a raised platform in the center. On the platform was a nest, large enough to hold a dozen eggs, each the size of a small car. The eggs were iridescent, shifting colors in the light. They seemed to pulse with inner energy. The High Council awaits you there. Eldrin pointed to a section near the nest, where 12 Sylvans sat on living chairs that seemed to be part of the platform itself. As Kate, Dana, Lyra, and Eldrin approached the platform, the assembled Sylvans fell silent. All eyes turned to them, particularly to Kate and Ember. The dragon walked proudly beside her, his scales gleaming, his head held high. They reached the platform. Steps formed as they approached the living material of the structure, responding to their presence. They ascended to join the High Council. The elders rose to greet them, their faces solemn yet joyful. The eldest stepped forward, her face lined with uncountable years, her eyes deep pools of wisdom. She looked directly at Kate. 73 cycles ago, you chose to help us, protect us, save the last clutch of dragon eggs. For that, all Sylvans owe you a debt that can never be repaid. Kate bowed her head. I remember little of that time, but I am honored by your words. The elder smiled. Knowledge lives in more than memory. It lives in the heart, in the soul. Ember remembers he has chosen you again. That is all the proof we need of who you are. What? You did, the elder turned to the assembled Sylvans, raising her voice. Today we witness the beginning of renewal. The dragons return to both our peoples. For too long we have been separated from each other, from our true history. The dragons will help us remember, help us reconnect. She gestured to the nest. The eggs seemed to glow brighter as if responding to her words. The dragons were never meant to belong to one people. She continued. They were guardians of both Sylvan and human. Before the separation, before the war, they connected us, helped us understand each other truly deeply. When we lost that connection, we lost ourselves. Kate felt Ember pressing against her leg, his scales warm, his presence comforting. He sent her images, the eggs hatching, new dragons choosing companions, both human and Sylvan, understanding flowing between species. The elder looked at Kate again. We invite you, Lieutenant Morgan, to be the first to touch the eggs, to welcome the new guardians with both human and Sylvan. Essence within you, you are uniquely suited to awaken them. Kate felt overwhelmed. The responsibility, the honor. She looked at Dana, who nodded encouragement, at Lyra, who smiled serenely, at Ember, who sent her confidence. Certainty. Kate stepped forward, toward the nest. The eggs pulsed more strongly as she approached, colors shifting faster. Ember moved with her. The dragon seemed to grow more majestic with each step, as if his true nature was emerging in the presence of his kin. Kate reached the nest. She looked back at the elder, uncertain. Trust yourself. The elder said, trust, Ember. Kate reached out her hand, hovering above the nearest egg. She felt heat radiating from it. Energy, life, waiting to emerge. Ember moved beside her. The dragon extended his, wing covering her hand, creating a connection. Kate felt a surge of power flowing through her, from Ember through her into the egg. The shell began to glow brighter, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. With Ember's, she felt the life within awakening, responding, reaching out. The egg cracked. A line appeared across its surface. Then another light spilled from within. Brilliant, colorful. The assembled Sylvans gasped. Kate held her breath. A small head emerged. Scales, glistening eyes bright. The hatchling looked directly at Kate, then at Ember. The adult dragon rumbled a greeting. The baby dragon responded with a high chirping sound. More cracks appeared. The rest of the shell fell away. The hatchling was beautiful. Iridescent scales, tiny wings folded against its body. It was the size of a small cat. It blinked, looking around with intelligence, curiosity. Ember nudged Kate gently, encouraging her. She reached out slowly. The hatchling studied her hand, then moved forward, pressing its head against her fingers. Kate felt a jolt of connection, not as strong as her bond with Ember, but a recognition and acknowledgement. Then the hatchling turned, looking over the assembled crowd, its eyes scanning, passing over many until it stopped, its gaze fixed on someone. Kate followed its line of sight. Dana. The hatchling was staring at Dana. The elder smiled. "The dragon chooses," she said. Dana looked shocked. "Me, but I'm just..." The elder shook her head. "No one is just anything to a dragon. They see truly, they know the heart, the soul. This one has chosen you." The hatchling spread its tiny wings. It leapt from the nest, gliding awkwardly across the space between. It landed on the platform near Dana. Looking up at her expectantly, Dana knelt slowly, extending her hand as she had seen Kate do. The hatchling pressed against her fingers. Dana gasped. Kate knew what her friend was feeling. That first connection, that recognition.